Okay, hi. I'm Chris Talbot.
I'm Rawl Chan.
And today we're here, we're going to do some beer sampling. So here what we got here is the Lake of Bays Pale Ale from, these guys are up in Baysville, Ontario, which is up around Muskoka area. And this is their first and currently only beer. These guys just opened up last year. They were renovating their new location and just getting started. So I remember seeing their advertisements last year, like, you know, coming soon, Lake of Bays Brewing Company, which is nice because I mean it's nice that Muskoka's got another brewing company. I've had a lot of Muskoka beers.
That's true.
I've had those as well.
And it's kind of interesting because this is actually my first real beer sampling. So me, I like to read things. So on the back, I know it's hard to see. It says this is a light-colored beer that's full of natural flavor. Sweet caramel malt tones are balanced by fresh hop aromas and just a hint of roasted grain. Enjoy. So
let's open this up. Now, I have had this. I had this over the weekend when I was up actually in Gravenhurst and picked it up at the LCBO. But this is your first experience, I think, with Lake of Bays, right?
This is my first experience with Lake of Bays.
Alright.
I have my handy beer cap.
Is this like Miller, dude?
This is a Miller Genuine Draft on my keychain, my cars. So I don't know if I'll get in trouble, but hey, why not? Okay, so is it like wine where we waft the bottle or no?
Well, we don't worry too much about the bottle. But let's start here. We'll give each of us a nice healthy pour and open it right up here. Ooh yeah.
So is this a proper pour? Because I know
this will get us a good deal ahead.
Okay.
So this will also help really open it up.
All right.
I'm probably a little. There we go. Not 100% there, but let's.
About half and half. Okay, so
let's take a look here.
So it is very light.
Yes. What do you call that? A golden color? I don't know whether you can see this.
It's very goldy. It has a nice head to it, which is good actually.
Yeah.
A German guy once said that when you're pouring beer, you want to have a head because it actually gives the beer a different flavor. And he tested it on us, where he poured beer without head, and then he poured it with head. And I found it like is more more rich. The flavor was there.
Yeah, the head definitely comes adds to it, especially, and it also opens up all the aromas.
Oh.
You know, that's a lot of the aromas you're going to get coming from this. Now, a pale ale in terms of its style should be kind of balanced, but it should be fairly hoppy, but it shouldn't really be a hop bomb. It's not an IPA, it's not an imperial pale ale or anything like that either.
Okay.
But it should be kind of hoppy, but it should be balanced.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's very nice. It is very mellow. I'd almost say this is a very summer, warm outside beer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This would be great for the summer, which it happens to be August.
Which it happens to be. It's kind of windy outside, so we're inside.
That's unfortunate. But you know, you definitely get some of the hops in the aroma.
I'm catching the caramel. Now, is the caramel naturally occurring, or do they add caramel? You being the brew maker.
Yeah, a lot of the sweetness from beer actually comes from some of the malts that they use, and there actually is something called caramel malt, or crystal malt, or Karistan malt. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. And really, its only purpose is to impart a sweetness to the beer. It doesn't actually, the malt doesn't actually give any fermentable sugars.
Okay.
It just gives
so then,
sweetness.
what would you say this would be?
Well, in terms of
number,
I mean, I have this more than likely is I mean, more than likely they probably use they probably use a little bit of the caramel malt, and more than likely I would guess probably using around 10 to 20 Lovibond caramel malt to impart some of the flavor, and that also doesn't really give too much in the way of color. In terms of the malt that they would use, this of course would use very low Lovibond malt. Definitely some sweetness in it, so I mean, it tells you right in the bottle, there's caramel flavors which generally tend to come from either the malts, which in this case probably, but there may also be, and I'm really not very good at picking this out, a hint of diacetyl.
Okay.
Diacetyl is something that is okay in ales, at least to a certain extent, but not good in lagers. It's considered a flaw in lagers. Okay. But diacetyl is kind of, you ever have a beer and it kind of, and not when they just add the flavoring to it, but you ever have a beer which kind of tastes a bit like butterscotch? Maybe? Yes. Butterscotch notes? That's diacetyl.
Oh, okay.
If you taste that in a lager, that's bad.
Oh,
that's a
okay.
flaw.
And so, me not being exactly the beer connoisseur, I enjoy my beers. I would equate this to a very normal pale ale. So if you're a blue or a Canadian or just a regular ale drinker, like even 50, like 50 is my favorite. This is actually a very good beer, a good summer beer. I would even say a fall or a spring, not a winter.
No, I tend to like the darker, richer beers in the winter.
When it gets colder.